The boy's name was Miguel
Under these
Santos, and until
lights,
that
I
moment,
find
no
my
one outside a
voice
small fishing
tonight.
village in the Philippines had ever heard it. He was 17 years old, thin from years of missed meals, his skin darkened by the sun and salt air, his hands rough from mending nets instead of holding microphones. He stood backstage at America's Got Talent staring at the floor, breathing slowly, reminding himself that this stage was real and not another dream he would wake up from on a bamboo mat beside his younger sister. Miguel had never been on an airplane before. In fact, he had never left his island. His father had died when Miguel was 9, lost during a storm while fishing at night. His mother washed clothes for wealthier families until her back gave out. Music became Miguel's escape, his shelter, his prayer. Every night, after the generators shut off and the village went dark, he would sit outside their shack with a cracked guitar missing one string and sing softly so his sister could fall asleep believing tomorrow would be better. He learned English not from school but from old radio stations that faded in and out, catching fragments of American songs. One song stayed with him more than any other. Hotel California. He didn't fully understand the lyrics at first, but the melody felt like a road stretching beyond the ocean, beyond hunger, beyond everything he knew. The audition was never supposed to happen. Miguel hadn't applied online. He didn't have a computer. He didn't even know how. What changed everything was a viral video posted by a volunteer teacher who heard him singing during a school fundraiser. The video showed Miguel standing barefoot on a dirt floor, singing Hotel California with a voice that sounded older than his years, carrying pain, hope, and something unbreakable. The video reached millions. Within weeks, America's Got Talent called. Now, standing on the most famous talent stage in the world, Miguel felt smaller than ever. The lights were blinding. The audience sounded like a roaring ocean. And then there were the judges. Simon Cowell sat with his arms crossed, his expression unreadable. Miguel had heard stories about him. How he could end dreams with a single sentence. When Terry Crews asked Miguel where he was from, his voice trembled as he answered, "From the Philippines." When asked why he came, Miguel swallowed and said he came because music saved him when nothing else could. Then came the question that made the audience murmur. What will you be singing? Miguel hesitated. He knew this was risky. Singing Hotel California was bold. Dangerous. Iconic. But he nodded and said the words anyway. Hotel California. Some people smiled. Others looked skeptical. Simon raised an eyebrow. It was the kind of song that could destroy an audition if done wrong. The music began. Miguel closed his eyes. The first note came out soft, almost fragile. The room leaned in. By the second line, something shifted. His voice wasn't copying the Eagles. It was transforming the song. Each word carried the weight of hunger, loss, and longing. His accent didn't weaken the song. It strengthened it. The lyrics sounded like they were written for him. By the first chorus, the audience was silent. By the second verse, Simon had leaned forward. Miguel's voice rose and fell like waves hitting shore. He added subtle Filipino tonal colors, bending notes just enough to make them ache. It wasn't just singing. It was storytelling. It was survival in melody. Then came the guitar solo. No one expected what happened next. Miguel didn't play it the usual way. He slowed it down, fingerpicking with a technique his father had taught him years ago using fishing wire when they couldn't afford real strings. The solo sounded mournful, almost like a goodbye letter. People in the audience wiped their eyes without realizing it. As Miguel reached the final chorus, his voice cracked, not from weakness, but from truth. He held the last note longer than anyone thought possible. When it finally faded, there was silence. Not polite silence. Stunned silence. Simon Cowell didn't move. He didn't clap. He didn't speak. The audience erupted into a standing ovation. Miguel opened his eyes, confused, overwhelmed, his hands shaking. He bowed slightly, unsure of what he had just done. When the judges finally spoke, Howie Mandel said he forgot where he was for a moment. Heidi Klum said she felt like she had traveled through Miguel's life in 3 minutes. Sofia Vergara was crying. Then Simon spoke. Or tried to. He opened his mouth, closed it, shook his head. The crowd reacted instantly. Simon Cowell, the man known for brutal honesty, was speechless. Finally, he said quietly that he had heard Hotel California thousands of times, but never like that. He said Miguel didn't just sing the song. He owned it. He said moments like this were the reason the show existed. Then came the twist no one expected. Simon stood up. He walked over to the golden buzzer. Miguel didn't understand what was happening until the stage exploded in gold. Confetti rained down. Miguel dropped to his knees, sobbing, his hands covering his face. Terry Crews hugged him tightly, whispering that his life had just changed forever. But the story didn't end there. Backstage, Simon asked to speak with Miguel privately. Cameras followed, but the mood shifted. Simon told Miguel something shocking. He said he recognized the style of Miguel's guitar playing. Years earlier, Simon had heard a street musician in Manila playing with the same haunting technique. That musician had refused money and said he played only to feed his family. That man was Miguel's father. Miguel froze. Simon explained that he had been traveling anonymously, searching for raw talent, when he met Miguel's father briefly. He said he never forgot the sound. Hearing Miguel play brought it all back. The coincidence felt impossible. Simon told Miguel that talent runs deeper than blood. It runs through sacrifice. Miguel advanced through every round. Each performance revealed more of his story. One week he sang an original song about his sister. Another week he blended Filipino folk music with classic rock. America fell in love with him. In the finale, Miguel didn't win first place. But something bigger happened. A record deal. Scholarships. A new home for his family. Clean water for his village. And a moment on the world's biggest stage that proved dreams don't need permission to cross oceans. The last shot of the season showed Miguel returning home, standing on the same beach where his father once fished, playing his guitar as children gathered around him, believing that maybe, just maybe, they could